gross. Tetris Worlds for the PS2? Oh, we gotta burn this. Oh my god, get me out of here.
You observing important.
Do you remember VHS tapes? Maybe your family still has some collecting dust in the attic. Plastic reels, tangled film, fading labels. Their memories caught in amber, silent but watching. Some of those memories refuse to fade, even if you forget about them. One of them resurfaced on October 19th, 2023. No announcement, no fanfare. A quiet little release on Steam. A free indie game called Teleforum. No trailer on the front page, no influencer hype. It's just there. Like a broadcast nobody remembers tuning into. But once you play it, you won't forget. Much like its entrance onto Steam, so too followed its story.
Okay, this is the right building. Let's focus on doing this well and quickly, all right?
Don't you think it's wrong to bother a widow?
If we don't do this, someone else will. You know Augusto, back at the station? He's itching to make a special show about this.
You arrive at a widow's apartment to ask questions, but soon you realize it's not just her story you're unraveling, it's the tape. A mystery. Something unnatural is going on here. The premise, then. You're a journalist visiting the apartment of a widow whose husband mysteriously died. In more actuality, you're the cameraman for the journalist, your friend Juliana. Here's how Teleforum plays.
Whoa! Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh!
You occupy two roles, interviewer and cameraman. As interviewer, your dialogue choices shape how the widow responds. Meanwhile, as cameraman, you are free to walk around the apartment, investigate rooms, find clues, and piece together what really happened. The VHS visual style carries through. Static glitches, you feel powerless, unsafe, as if you're watching a car crash in slow motion. You feel more like the helpless camera than anyone who holds it. You carry it along sometimes against your will. The game features multiple endings. Your choices, your willingness to linger or probe deeply will determine which path you take. Exploration is slow. Not much of it is there. You get a few moments to just look around.
I have an idea.
Really? What is it?
Let's leave!
But the choices can make drastic changes. The horror is psychological, not jump scares. You and your colleague from Channel 8 News prepare for the day after Walter, the husband of Adriana, died, to go visit the woman and ask questions about his strange disappearance. You've worked alongside Walter on the same news station. Instantly, you feel claustrophobic. The tight aspect ratio makes you feel as if yourself are watching some sort of recovered tape. Now, I know in media, and especially recent analog horror on YouTube, this trope has been beaten to oblivion. Everything is found footage this, found footage that. It has no originality. In this case, it's a lot more personal. It is a game, in the quotative sense.
Analog horror seems to be just kind of like a bingo game of what are we gonna get this time? Let's see. Alright, the video ends with a smash cut into something running into the room.
Why is Chubby here staring at me?
Focusing.
Back up, Jack.
Okay, very original. What do we got this time? Oh, this is a great one. The video ends with a PNG flying at the screen like it's some kind of scary VTuber. Now, in Teleforum, there's nothing that's gonna fly at the screen. It's all psychological, and I know that's kind of a buzzword, but it really does get behind your ears. Nothing ever seems truly honest.
And some of the aspects of YouTube analog horror is just for some YouTuber to soy face over a streamer. In this game, Walter Martins died in the middle of a broadcast on the same Channel 8 News you work for. He wasn't himself, apparently, and all eyes came to the tape. It was something he was planning to break to the world. As you slowly take the time to convince the grief-stricken widow to let you in for an interview, she kindly offers you a drink. In that little window of time, you have a chance to look around the apartment. It's eerie. You feel all the memories Adriana and Walter had together. Walter was an award-winning journalist. No doubt he had to know what he was doing, right? Juliana is not much help. She's pushy, hardcore, desperate for that breaking story. Eventually, she hands Juliana the tape with enough prying and decides to go out for a smoke. She knows far more than she's letting on. In fact, everyone has a different idea of how Walter even died. You can ask to check up on her. Despite your reasonable protest, Juliana watches the tape. It flickers and glitches, but it has this voice. It repeats itself over and over again. It feels almost impossible to understand what they're saying. Although if you go talk to Adriana, she'll try and convince you to give up the case, to quit. As you watch the tape, unable to resist its siren call, it all goes black. Juliana and you are back in the elevator. You feel strange, as if an eraser just swept over your mind, but still left the shavings.
Let's get to 608 already.
What are you doing?
How about you stop wasting our time?
Hey, aren't you coming on a little too strong?
No, we need to investigate this.
She's got her whole life to mourn. Let's get to the point. Walter took a tape to the studio, but it wasn't the original one, was it? I want to see the original.
Hey, she's a widow. What's gotten into you?
I don't have time for this.
You know what? Why don't you go check up on her?
Even better, interview her. You always wanted to do that, right? Here's your chance.
See if she's up to answering some questions about the origin of this tape.
Juliana? Are you alright? We go back up, start again. Juliana is different. She's now desperate, aggressive for the tape. And then how long have we been in this loop? Did it really just start on the first visit? How many has it been? Juliana? This is where all the paths truly start to converge. This game has another sensation, that it merely is a prelude to another game. All endings have just about 0 answers and feel pretty unfulfilling. That's my main criticism, ultimately held back by the fact that it's not just a suspicion, but it's absolutely a prequel to another game, and we'll get into that. But we'll stick with some of the endings I personally believe in, and believe to be best endings, and leave you with the best impression.
Já seja tarde demais. As lentes deles já se tornaram nossos olhos. Tudo que vemos. Bom, não importa. Já...
No, man.
Now you may have your opinions, but this is just what I found the most satisfying and enjoyable. After several attempts, Juliana becomes more and more decayed. Once back in the elevator again, you can hit T124. And who did you find? Walter. He's alive and well. But now you're someone called the operator, not the cameraman anymore. The very person / thing that dropped off the tape and began this all. On that you reset. Another clue. The operator. Who is he? Where does he come from? And what is the operator? I believe this person is a being, perhaps not of our reality. The tape itself seems like a test. Juliana failed. She was not suitable. It broke her mind, but you were a suitable one. On the reset, if you go back in the elevator and you hit T512, Juliana is gone. The elevator opens into a dense forest. With flashlight in hand, you keep going, walking for who knows how long. You finally realize you've been stuck for a long time. Something is following you out here. You feel some sort of presence. The tape hits static and we hear... Walter? Walter's been out here too, alive. He's been waiting for something. You ask where we are. Where could this place possibly be? And Walter answers, "My senna by me." What does it mean? We'll have to wait to know. That's the unfortunate truth. Now my impersonal interpretation. Let's start with the tape. It seems to be a sort of test, a passage into this world. Only either the chosen or the best can pass into. Perhaps you have to be smart enough to solve its cryptic repeating world. Walter himself has been stuck in the world from his note.
The camera, the mic, they become part of us. I don't know why I said that.
Juliana might be in more loops than us. Perhaps she's been fully broken and twisted from the constant obsession and need for the tape. She might know more than she's letting on just to keep it to herself, but she ultimately keeps failing. And who is this operator? A messenger for the tape? Clearly, since Walter died trying to reveal the tape to the world, the tape doesn't want a wider audience. It wants to be hidden. In the end, you, the cameraman, and Walter have passed into this sort of limbo, where they're waiting for something, waiting for the next step. Now let's talk about reality here for a second. One of the endings, much like PT, this game shows a trailer for their next game. I never got it, but I saw one of the videos where you get the boat in the Walter world. This is clearly a prelude to Drowned Lake. Now I requested access to it on Steam, so if I happen to get it, I'll let you know. This game seems to pick up off, or somewhat from a different perspective, of Teleforum. Now I'd love to hear your story opinions in the comments. Maybe I missed something in my playthrough. I tried to do it at least 80% raw. Not a lot of wiki gaming. If you just read off a wiki and get all the perfect endings and everything, how is that you? That's just the page talking.
And honestly, that's like one of the biggest disappointments of this game is how vague it is. It is just too vague. You can be too vague with something. And I understand people might say that you're free to bring it up to your interpretation, which is fine to an extent, but there are, if you want to look at a bunch of other people's theories, it's a lot of, oh, it's only a theme. This whole thing is a theme. There's theme only. Hey, it's okay to have a theme in something. You gotta remember it's still a story, but it feels like a missed opportunity because I'm sure they wanted people to speculate and do what I'm doing, make a video for it, which is like an advertisement, which I'm not sponsored. I'd never take a sponsorship for a game, but I was like really invested in what was going on. Bam, hit the end, nothing. You have to do so much research, and to find those buttons for the elevator, you gotta play it a bunch of times to find. Some of it is guesswork. That took forever. So, I really wish it had a more fulfilling ending. At least just tell us something.
So if you want to try this game to find your own endings, it's free, and I'm sure there's plenty of secrets to uncover. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm trying my best here. I think I desperately need a thumbnail artist. I was contacted by one, so I might give him a call. Thank you all for what you do and the little bit of your lives you shared with me. I hope this was worth it. I love you all, and have a great week. And never give up. Bye.